All right, let's get started by just getting a nice clean canvas on our Cricut Design Space. We're going to go ahead and upload our file. You're going to go to Upload and Browse. And this is the 4th of July cupcake topper that you can get free from Dreaming Tree. When you download it, don't forget to unzip it and everything. Remember where you kept it. It's going to have like a double folder. This is what it looks like put together, but then you just go in here and then there's going to be 3 pieces. So you're going to have like the red glitter part, the little gold star, and the little white part of the star, which you can make any colors you want. But you're going to go ahead and just choose each one, hit open. There's no, no editing you really need to use. Just go ahead and hit upload. I already have mine uploaded, so you're going to do those to all 3 pieces. And you'll end up with these 3 pieces here. You'll end up with the red background and 2 stars that basically fit in the middle right here. So you're going to choose those 3 and add those to your canvas. And then you're going to then go to images if you want to do the same background that I got. The same cupcake wrapper that I got. I got that one from Design Space itself. And all I did was put in cupcake for the search, and there's going to be a ton. So I then went to project type and put in 3D, and right away I saw this really cute star one, which is what I wanted, something simple with stars, since the other part was going to have it. If you're part of the Cricut Design Space Access, you'll have this for free. If not, it costs 99 cents. But there's tons of other wrappers if you want to use a different one that you could use. But we're going to use this one with the stars. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the canvas. Now, just keep in mind, sometimes when these come in, you have to resize the wrapper. For about a full-size cupcake wrapper, you want the length of this to be 14 inches wide. And that's like a good full-size cupcake wrapper that'll fit nicely around an average to large cupcake. If you want to do minis, you can leave it that size. You can leave it the size that it pops up. If you want it a little bit bigger, I think it's like 12 inches or 8 inches is the next size that you want. But 14 inches will give you a good size. And if you're really not sure, one of the tricks that I do is I turn it on its side just like that, so that this part right here, this left part, is straight up and down so that I can measure it. And you want that to be about 2 to 2.5 inches so that it fits around the cupcake. But remind you, that's just the bottom end. This top part's gonna like stick up a lot over the cupcake. So right now this is a perfect size for a cupcake. So this one, 14 inches. These guys are already sized perfectly to make. The only thing that I want to do with these is this guy right here. I don't want the backer. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the backer, which was like that light blue that went behind it. So instead that I can just see right through the stars. I want it like that instead. And then this piece and this piece, I want to be the same color. So I'm going to make mine in like more of a tealy blue color instead of like a traditional red, white, and blue. It really doesn't matter what color you change them on the canvas because it's whatever paper that you put in. But the one that I happen to be using is more like a teal blue. So I'm going to be using one. It's more like that. So if you want to make sure that this one is exact same color, you can just color sync it. Also, just so you know, for some reason I noticed this when I was testing it out earlier, there's a tiny little cut on the corner of both of these guys, and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of them. If you just get yourself a little circle or something and you put it right over that little speck, grab them all together and just hit slice, it will remove that weird little speck. I don't know why it's there, but it's an extra cut that I don't want my Cricut wasting time on. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Usually any cuts that I get from Dreaming Tree are usually pretty clean, so I'm not 100% sure why it's there. It's the only place I sell some weird little cut, but every once in a while you'll get one like that from any company. But I love Dreaming Tree because they're always like put together perfectly, and they're usually perfectly sized, so I don't usually have to do a lot of work on design space. So right here though, I just want to make sure that star is the same color, so I'm just going to drag it with the color sync to that other color section and it'll change it for me. This one right here, I think I'm going to do silver instead of gold. So this is just to remind myself that it's going to be silver instead of gold. So when we layer it, it's going to look like this. And this isn't a big deal, it's just in the back, but this will be like right on top like that. And then this one will be right on top. Oops. Let's bring that to the front. That one will be right on top, right in the middle like that. It's gonna look like that with this being the cupcake holder underneath it. And this will be on a cute little stick sticking up on your cupcake. And so you have two of them so that you can press a toothpick in between these two pieces. So if you want this repeated on the back, just go ahead. So if you want it to actually be double-sided, just duplicate these. So if you go to the layers, you can duplicate so that way it's on both sides. And for this, I'm gonna try to see if I have a shimmery red for these guys right here, because anytime I do anything on a cupcake, I'd rather have them shimmery. You know, 4th of July, you want it to be sparkly looking, but shimmery or anything. Just be careful about using glitter. Remember, you're putting these on food. It's totally up to you, but I don't recommend putting anything that's glitter unless it's more like it's one of those like no flake glitters or something. Be careful if you're going to use glitter paper, even on the smaller pieces, because if not, you're going to end up with glitter on your cupcakes that's not edible. Probably not good. All right, so once you have it all done and you have everything in place and everything sized, you know, just I'm putting 4th cupcake. Oops, I used my shift key. Topper and wrapper. Okay, so I'm gonna do that as a 3D, I guess. So just save it so you don't lose your work. And then you're gonna go to make it. And I'm just gonna do on a mat because I don't think I'm gonna have anything that is not matted. All right. So it's letting me know that at least one of my pieces is larger than 11.5 inches, and that's going to be the cupcake wrapper. So just know if you are going to make the cupcake wrappers and not use your own cupcake, you know, like a store-bought cupcake wrapper, you need to have a 12 by 24 inch mat. But I'm going to show you a little trick in a minute. So it's just letting you know that ahead of time. So I'm going to make 3 of these because I want to make it for 3 cupcakes. Of course, you can make a dozen, whatever you want, but just for the purposes of this, I'm going to make 3 so it cuts quickly. All right, and then I'm just going to let it know it's going to be on a mat, but we're going to use a 12 by 24 inch mat because I am going to use 8.5 by 11 inch paper, so it'll fit on a smaller mat, no problem. And anytime I see something like this, I'm always like, especially if I'm going to use shiny paper, I want to conserve my paper as much as possible. So I'm going to do this because then I'll be able to use this square for whatever else I need it for. I know it's dumb, it's like a small piece, but it's just the way my brain works. I want to make sure I have a good clean, like if I'm going to have leftover, I'm going to have all this left over still. Okay, red. I think this will fit on an 8.5 by 11. I just have to see if I have like a shiny paper or something for this. So 8.5 by 11. Okay, so now it's going to come time to do these 3. They're on 3 different mats, right? But let me show you a trick. I happen to have 12 by 24 inch paper. If you do not have 12 by 24 inch paper, you can turn this enough that it will fit on a 12 by 12. You see, here's the 12-inch line here. So it will fit on a 12 by 12, just so you know. But it's not going to let you change it to the 12 by 12. But no worries. Like if you have a 12 by 24 inch mat at least, and you stuck a 12 by 12 paper, you're golden. Like it's going to cut perfectly fine. It's going to fit just fine. The only thing is you will only be able to cut like one at a time. That's the only drawback of this. Michaels sells 12 by 24 inch paper. You can definitely get it on Amazon. And Michaels it's not too bad of a price. I think it's like $20, but I always either use a coupon or get it on sale. And it's a big pack. The only thing is if you do get the Michaels pack, be careful. I don't know what happened, if it was just a fluke when I got it, but the colors it showed on the outside package are not the colors that I got in my pack. Not even close. And I'll show you what I mean after. Yeah, it said it had like these certain 5 colors, and the colors on the inside don't match at all. They either don't match at all or they're completely off. So I don't know if when they printed the outside label it was wrong and they put it on the wrong package. I don't know. But it was not the colors that I ended up getting in the pack. And it was a regular Recollections paper. So I couldn't tell you what went wrong there. I never took it back really to find out either. That was my own thing. Now, if you have it on here and you need to use it on 12 by 12, you just move it like that. If you happen to have the 12 by 24 inch paper, I do recommend actually moving all of your pieces to the first mat because they will fit. And I'll show you how. And this way you're not wasting like 12 by 24 inch paper. All right, so the way we make them fit is like this. We're going to move that one down. This one, we are going to turn it sideways, just like that. And it's basically going to move it down as far as it can. So I'm just making it kind of straight. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Make it nice and straight. All right, and then we're going to move it. Let me make this smaller so you can see a little better. I'm going to move it there. The next one's going to be right there. All your other stars still fit. And this guy, you're just going to flip it over. Like that. And again, since I'm one for not wanting to waste my paper, let me get that a little smaller so you can see. I try to move it as much as I can to where it won't take up a lot of paper. So I got this nice big part right here that I'll be able to use later. And basically you can figure out however, you know, it's good for you to do it, but for me, I want them all on one piece of paper, one shot. There we go. Everything, nobody's touching. Everything's good. I don't have to worry about this taking up. And really, if you want it to, like I said, I'm really like, I hate wasting paper when it comes to big papers and paper that's hard to find. 12 by 24 isn't as hard anymore. It used to be really hard to find. But it's not anymore. So I'm moving that. So I got a good almost 2-inch strip over here that if I ever need to use it, I can. There, I got it within the 2-inch strip. And no, oops. Almost. Yeah, it's got a little pokey. But this way, if I need to use a border or whatever, I still have that, some of the scraps. I am not a big fan of keeping scraps if they're not a very good piece. But as you can see, I can get like a 6x6 out of this. I can get a lot of pieces out of this. So I try to conserve the paper if I'm able to. If I'm going to get like tiny little scrap pieces like that, no, I'm throwing that away for sure. But that's not so bad. Okay, so now we've got it down basically to 3 mats now. And if you have scrap paper, use your scraps. So now we have all 3 of those. So we're going to go ahead and just continue. I'm making this one on the Maker 3, but this one can be made on the Maker or the Explorer. Not a big deal, either one. You could actually make it on a Cricut Joy as well. Just expect that you're going to have to, well, no, let me take that back. You couldn't do the wrapper on the Joy. You're not going to have a long enough piece to do that. But you can, unless you're going to do smaller cupcakes or mini cupcakes, the wrapper won't fit on the Joy. If you're not going to use the cupcake wrapper, then by all means, yeah, you can make this on the Joy for sure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose just 80-pound cardstock. I don't use a 65-pound. Well, actually, this one's actually just, this one actually is 65-pound. I'm going to change that. Oh, no, never mind. I'm leaving it. I'm doing the shiny one right now. So, yeah, it's actually 65-pound shiny that I got from Recollections as well. So we're going to go 80-pound, default pressure, everything's good there. All right, and then we're going to, for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. It just depends on which one I'm going to use. I'm still trying to figure out which red I'm going to use, but I might just use a plain red. And then for this one, same thing, I'm going to use a 65-pound. Everything's probably going to be 65-pound. So let's go ahead and head over to the Maker so we can go ahead and see how that goes. Okay, so basically you just want to go ahead and get all your paper ready. Now that we're ready to go, we have the default pressure here. As you can see, my Cricut's nice and ready to go. I decided to go ahead and use the silver foil paper. I have it taped down just because the edges curl a little bit. And sorry for all the flashing, it's because of the fan is on in here. It's 110, I think, right now, or about to get there. I know it's over like 105 right now, so it's kind of hot today. So let's go ahead and load up our guy. Yeah, and you see it's not holding very well. I think this mat needs to be re-stickied, but this shouldn't be too bad. Oh, yeah, look, it bent it while I did it too. Yeah, it's popping. You guys can't see it. It's not showing on camera, but this bottom end is just popping right up. So I'm just adding some purple tape just to hold it in place while it cuts those stars out real quick. It shouldn't take too long, so it should be all right with me just taping it. I hope. See if it actually cut through. I don't know why, but I don't think it did. Nope, it didn't. Alright, I know that sometimes this one's a little weird, so I'm gonna let it go one more time. It says it's foil paper. I think that's why it's not quite cutting through on the 65-pound. I'm pretty sure I have a new blade in there, so we'll just let it cut one more time. And anytime if it doesn't cut correctly, all you need to do is check it, but don't remove it. Just go ahead and hit the go button one more time. This works for both the Explorer and the Maker. I've been having issues with it working on the Joy to just recut though. Like it'll only recut just the little end part of like the last cut, but it won't recut the whole thing on the Joy for some reason. I've never had that issue on the Maker or the Explorer though. Right, that definitely had to cut through, yeah. That came right up easily. There you go. Perfect cut. That's just the purple tape. I'll take that off. But look at how pretty that is. That's going to be fun. All right, let's unload that. Let's do our next color. And just a quick tip, if you want to just take off a bunch of pieces, just give it a bend, and then you can like just pop them right off. These happen to be really stiff, so they're just popping right off, but it makes it a lot easier to take off a bunch of things. So now I've got a nice clean mat. We're gonna go ahead and do the red next. This one's definitely thicker, so we're gonna make this a little thicker. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's got a pretty shimmer to it, but it's not glittery. Because like I said, I don't like using glitter when I'm doing anything that is for food. And this mat seems pretty sticky. I don't know why that silver was not sticking to it, and I've burnished it down. So right now, sorry off camera, but I am burnishing it. But for this one, I'm gonna do heavy cardstock on it with just a little more pressure, because this cardstock is really thick, and I'm using this squeegee to do it mostly because my Cricut one is out of my reach right now. Alright, so I just got it all nice and burnished down. So that's the red shimmery one. And we're nice and ready. It's already blinking for us. We're going to put that right in. Yeah, that one seems to be sticking no problem. The other one was just popping right up, but I think it was because it's so curved. You can see how curved this guy is. You can kind of see me in there. But yeah, this one's like totally curving up. It's weird. Alright, we're going to go ahead and press that. That's going to do all of our little firework bursts. And we'll speed this up for video sakes. So I'm going to let you see how it cuts one, and then I'm going to speed up the video, and it's going to double time it. So just know this first one is how long it takes to cut one, and it's cutting twice. It's doing 2 passes because I told it it's such a heavier paper. Okay, so that's how long it took to do one. We're going to go ahead and speed this up so it can double time it through the video. Might even triple it. Alright, now that it's all done, we're going to go ahead and just check on that. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to have a problem with that, but let's go and pull that out. And let's remove all of this. And as you can see, that cut out beautifully. So again, you could just do a pop-out and just pop those guys right off. And there you go. Nice and cut. So we're going to put those aside, and we're going to do the big guy now. Sorry if I just made a ton of noise on that microphone. I'll try to cut it out. Alright, now we get the big long one. This is a 12 by 24. And I am going to let it know this is 80 pound this time instead of 65. I'm trying to get it on there. It's really trying to do it with one hand. Alright, we're going to go ahead and press that. For Cricut Maker 3 and the Cricut Explore 3, it always measures your mat first. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and let it start cutting. And again, we're gonna speed this up so that you don't have to sit through the whole thing cutting, but I'll let it start off at first, and then we'll do a speed up. All right, so we have everything cut out. I'm just pulling off the last of the cuts. You can go ahead and hit done on your Cricut. All right, we're just gonna yank this one out. Comes up pretty clean because it's simple. If you have a spatula, it's a good time to use it. Again, you can of course bend to get everything off easier. Okay, so here's the funny thing though, is like this cut from Cricut gives you little stars also. So you have all those little extra stars to do whatever with, which is kind of cool. Sorry about the shadow, I didn't set up another light. So just don't get those stars confused with the stars that actually are made for it. So just make sure you clear those out, or else it's going to be like, why are these not lining up? So all those, get this little guy out of the way. We're going to grab these stars. These are the ones we need. Okay. And here are our cupcake wrappers. All right, so we'll just put the wrappers aside for now, and we're going to assemble our little toppers. So you're going to need some sort of stick. Either toothpicks will work fine. I just happen to have these dowels. And so I'm just going to cut them as long as I want. So I'm kind of testing out. Okay, so I guess actually let's do this. Let's assemble this guy so we can see exactly how tall it's going to be on my cupcake. Oh, see, now this is huge, you guys. This is like way too big for my cupcake. This is definitely for giant cupcake. So since I know it's not going to work on my cupcake, I'm going to make it the size I know that it will work on my cupcake, which, yeah, is about there. All right, so if you end up doing the same thing, you'll know what to do. Usually pretty good about sizing these, and this time I was not. So I can see about here is perfect for my cupcake, so I'm just going to cut this off. Not a big deal, as long as you cut straight. And I'll use that as a template to cut the rest of them, and then I'm just going to glue this together. My mistake for the sizing. So I am just going to literally follow this, add some glue right here, and line this guy back up. So I'm just lining them back up with this star right here, making sure that this is lined up down here. Holding that together. So now it's a good size still. So it still looks cute. There we go. And then I have one of my cupcakes, and I'm just going to drop it in there as carefully as possible. I'm putting my hand underneath it. So you still, like, you're not using this as the wrapper like you're baking it in. You're just using it in the one you put after. And I'm making a mess of it, but that's okay. There we go. Very, very cute, as you can see. I did okay, I got icing everywhere. That's all right. So now I just need to measure how tall I want my guy. So it's that tall, but then I need enough to put this guy on. So I'm gonna like basically go about there. That should be more than enough. I mean, you're not gonna shove it all the way through, but just give yourself a good size. Toothpicks, like I said, though, will work just fine. So here we go. I have two ready. We're going to put that aside, and we'll fix these in a sec. All right, these I know are perfect. So these are going to go in between here. And it's up to you. You can decorate it first, you can add it later. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm doing is just putting all of this on so I can cover the whole thing. Putting this right up in there. And then just sandwiching them in between. Oops. Look, I'm in no way perfect for doing this all the time. And you know everything that can go wrong will go wrong when you are filming a video. Off camera, it probably come out without any issues. There we go. So we're just gonna squeeze those together. You got both sides. Nice and cute. All right. You got this guy, you got this guy. You're gonna add your glue onto this smaller piece first. And line it up the best you can in the center. If you have tweezers, it's really great to use them right about now. I'm of course not about to go find mine. Just put that right in the middle. And then you're gonna add it. The middle, you're going to want a little more glue, the edges, not too much, because you don't want it to go spurting all over the place. But you want to make sure that that middle is pretty good, because you're going to have to put it over that bend. And the reason I'm doing it after the bend, because usually what ends up happening is that you don't have it on there long enough, it's going to pop right off, because you had it flat on there, and then it pops off. All right. I have frosting on my fingers, which is making a mess of this, but that's okay. Just wipe it off. Yes, if you have shiny paper and you get any glue on it or anything like that, just get a wipey, wet wipe of some kind, and peel off that glue. But be careful if you have regular paper near it, because it will make it sag a little. But there, how cute is that? Okay, and then you just do the same thing to the back. So we're going to speed through these and we're going to assemble these up. If you are looking for a neat crafter, you're in the wrong place. It is totally possible to be neat though. And I like to I don't like doing them one by one, so I always just pre-prep all my pieces. But I wanted to at least show you that one. All right, speed up time. right, take a look. How cute is that? Yes, there's frosting on the side, but I will clean it up for my presentation of it being all out and cute. Here's a little tip, okay, if you are having a party and you want to make a bunch of these, but you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to make like 30 of them because 30 people are coming over, make a dozen just for your table. Be super cute, and the rest of them make plain. Not a big deal. Like, make this the centerpiece, like 12 of them or 6 of them as the centerpiece on the top, and then surround them with the regular cupcakes. The kids will probably grab for the cute ones, the adults will grab for the other ones. Just a quick party tip, but how cute are these? Cut here, and then we'll cut out, fast speed this whole section, but cut this out, and then we'll cut back in when they're all done. Okay, cut back in here. All right, so a little thing I wanted to try is to not put any glue on these ends because I want to see the effect it gives. So you'll see the reveal with me on what kind of effect this gives. And I'm going to put just a little glue on the outside of the stick to kind of help hold it in place while I do this, because the issue that I have or have been having is that this paper is very slick, so it takes a little longer for the glue to really attach itself, so I end up with it slipping all over the place on me. So I'm just holding it down on the sides of the star, and now I'm just pinching the star area. Plus, I think it'll give it a cuter little burst on these ends, because if you want to, my idea of thinking is that if you want to, you can bend these out a little after you get those ones in. And see, it gives it just a little more of a firework effect. Just a little bit. So see, I'm just bending them out just a little bit on all these little curls. I think I like that much better. So I would say just add glue around the star area, pinch those sides together, and give it a really cute little sparkle pop out, like that. So now you can see it's more of a cute little effect that way. All right, so let's see if I can much more carefully put these cupcakes in here. I'm thinking, okay, let's try just, I'm afraid to do like a quick drop, but I'm gonna try it. Oh, there. Okay, I did a quick drop sort of, and I think that was better. And now they're just in there. I'll stick that one in there. That was one of the other ones I made. All right, this is my best decorated one, so let's hope this works. Putting my fingers in between these stars to grab it, just to make it go a little lower. And drop. Oh, I got my finger just a tiny bit right there, but that's all right. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm just letting it settle in there. There we go. Cute. And let's go ahead and put that little guy in there next to the dollop. Perfectly adorable. And there we go. There we have it. See it. Pretty little spin. There is our cupcake wrapper. Super cute. Look at that. Even from above. I love it. And if you want it, you can put like little stickers, have it draw on there. But I hope you like that cupcake tutorial. I'll put a finished picture at the end. I'm also going to make sure I'll basically give you guys a little printout to better be able to size these guys, okay? That way you don't have to worry about sizing. So you can download the printout. Thanks for watching. Bye.